best wrestling podcast in the world. Fact, the road-wearing original Pete, the believing, power of positivity, keeping it Rollins, the Summit. Fact, the homicidal, the genocidal, the ECW loving, daring young creeping, Mr. No Days Off, Scott. Fact, the biscuit and gravy eating, Naomi loving, lunatic craving, the melting pot, JP, and you can bank on that. Fact, the Bailey hugging, the interrupting, the Jaeger drinking, mouth of the Carolinas, Lil Stephen. Fact.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
I miss you, Darren Young. Little Steven, Darren Young, in a evening gown match with Pat Patterson. Little Steven gets a little French-Canadian in him. If Jeff Hardy's going to face Jay Leno in a steel chairs match, people are just jealous because I got skills.
Here's my issue. Is it worse to get beat by one midget or three? Little Steven in a beer drinking contest with Naomi. I have this big issue with people. I don't want to sound like an idiot.
Just kept it Rollins. Jimmy Hart,
Chirpway.
X-Pac against Lil Steven in a microphone on a pole match. Anything can happen. Lightweight. If you don't want it, then don't bark it.
We're a three-man band. That's horrible. I don't want to make you look bad.
You're fired, sir. When you want to hear me mess up, they're in Radioland. When you want to hear me not mess up, I did not know that. Wow. Wrestling with attitude. When you want your beer, awesome. And welcome to Wrestling with Attitude. I am your host today, Little Steven. That's right. You heard right. Don't adjust your ears. Don't adjust the volume. This is Little Steven with Wrestling with Attitude, brought to you by Attitude Broadcast.
What's up, JoJo?
Yeah, I messed that all up. But anyways, I got the...
Well, let's rewind that real fast.
Welcome to Wrestling with Attitude. But anyways, I got Mr. No Days Off. He finally got a day off. So.
Actually, I didn't have a day off. I left work and came straight here to prepare.
So you pulled a Sean. You pulled it.
No, I didn't quit my job.
You didn't quit your job so you could watch Wrestling
No,
with
sir.
Attitude.
No.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good. All right, well, we got a little bit to talk about on this show. We're going to do some review. We also got a top five. The real Scott Ely over here got us a top five. But before we get into that, I want to ask your thoughts on SummerSlam. I want to ask all of that.
My take on SummerSlam?
Yeah, well, I want to get it from you. I've gotten it from the Summit. I've got it from everyone else. I want to know what you think about SummerSlam.
Well, I mean, you got to take it from the guy that brings the attitude to Wrestling with Attitude. It was an okay card.
Okay.
A little too long. Only a few good matches. Cena and Styles stole the pay-per-view. Balor, Rollins, they did what they do best. They put on a great match. Other than that, it was kind of lackluster. You can tell that Dean and Ziggler kind of just they almost looked like they didn't want to be out there.
Really?
In that match. I mean, they were at the mid card.
Yeah.
The world title was at the mid card on the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. It just kind of looked like they just like whatever. I don't care.
I mean, even the Universal title wasn't a mid card either. Well, no, they were both technically mid cards. Because they weren't the last two matches. The last two matches are the ones that were supposed to bring the house down.
Right, and the last two matches were didn't start and a TKO.
Yeah.
So they close it out bad.
So what do you give? What's the grade you would give SummerSlam?
On the real Scott Ely grade, I'm going to give it a low 7.
Okay, we do D to A to D. What would you give it?
Oh, A to D? Oh. A C.
You give it a C? All right.
It didn't, like...
Not that I agree with that or anything.
It didn't... It wasn't like TakeOver. TakeOver blew it out of the water.
But it was better than last year's SummerSlam. I would say that. I think it was better than last year's SummerSlam.
Right. I mean, we got 2 good matches out of the SummerSlam, so it's better than last year's.
Oh, we got more than 2. I mean, we had the John Cena match was good. The Finn Balor and Seth Rollins was good. What was the one we were watching at the beginning that you said was really good at the beginning? Enzo and Cass versus Jericho and Owens was good.
For a tag, it was all right.
Yeah, that one was all right. So, I mean, we had some good matches.
I But the U.S. title wasn't defended. The tag title, it was a joke of a match.
All right. Well, okay, well, I just want to get your take on that. Let's get into, real quick, some wrestling news here, because I know Scott Ely wants to talk about this one. And by the way, on Periscope, if you guys have any questions, save them for the end of the segment. At the end of the segment, I'll ask you guys if you have any questions, let us know, and we'll answer them.
Can I ask them too? Or just you?
I guess you could. I don't know.
No questions for you.
No
2 weeks.
So Joey Styles goes to the Evolve in New York?
Yeah, he's going to be doing a lot of shows with Evolve.
I
in the
thought
New
he
York
said he was
area.
done with wrestling, though. He said he didn't want to do it anymore. That's why he left WWE.
Whoa. Joey Styles done with wrestling?
That's what he said.
Oh, my God, no.
That's what he said. That's a little, I don't know.
No,
but...
he was gone from WWE for criticizing.
Oh, wow. Well, what do you expect, Joey Styles? Anyways, all right. Well, I wish him the best of luck. I hope he has a fun time with the Evolve and the great Zack Sabre Jr., whatever his name is. I'm not a big fan of him right now. We'll get into that later. And finally, I know James will be happy about this. Eric Young officially signs with NXT as a full-time performer.
Only one word comes to mind, and I hate to steal it from an NXT superstar right now.
What?
Glorious.
Are you really
I would like
Eric
to see.
Young fan?
It's about time.
No, it isn't about time. The guy should have done it years ago. He should have done it at least a year ago.
I mean, he's younger than Bobby Roode right now. He's 3 years younger than Bobby Roode. If you're going to do it, do it now.
I mean, okay, I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but I'm getting tired of all these old guys coming. I'm sorry, but...
Well, you got to have old guys, too.
Yeah, but you're starting them off as new wrestlers, so what are you going to do with them? How long is Bobby Roode really going to stay? How long are these guys going to stay? That's my issue.
They will... maybe 6 months, and then go up to the main roster where they belong.
No, and that's fine. No, I'm not talking about NXT. I'm talking in general with WWE. How much do they have left in them is my question.
I mean, depending what kind of schedule they work, they could have a couple years left. Bobby Roode can wrestle till he's 45. Look at Jericho. He's
fit. He's fit. No, I mean Jericho's going to be 50 soon, and he'll
he's 45 right now.
He'll wrestle for another 5 years, Jericho. If he does like the old, if he goes like with the Undertaker schedule of just showing up SummerSlam and WrestleMania, he can wrestle for another 10 years.
But I don't think he'd do that. I think he wants to actually.
He wants to be a part of it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know, Jericho. He's not gonna take a back seat. He wants to be a part of the show, which is fine. I have no problems with that. Have we gotten anything on Periscope? Because I see you keep looking down. What are you getting? Come on, you got to let me know. I don't have Periscope in front of me.
James, a lot of hating on my part. He's hating on me.
Is he hating on you?
Because I barely brought up his boy Owens at SummerSlam.
Oh.
No, just a lot of questions. Yeah, Bobby Roode could go for a while.
Okay.
He is in good shape. I really think he could go to 45, and that's
really?
6 years. That's 5 to 6 years.
I mean, 6 years is a lot in WWE right now. I feel it is. I mean, you can make a name for yourself in 6 years. I mean, heck, Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns have been there for what, 3 years now? Like full time. I'm talking when they debuted.
Since when the Shield debuted was what?
Was it? It wasn't 2000.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
When they debuted.
They debuted when CM Punk was doing that heel thing, which was 13, right?
Right. Okay, so 3 years.
But anyways, yeah. So, I mean, and look what they've done in the past 4 years. They're already the main top guys. I mean, so Roode could do a lot in 6 years. Heck, if that's all he does is 6 years, he still can make a big difference. So, I agree with you on that. What?
Okay, I know we're going to try to do questions after. But Sean just had a very valid point with Bobby Roode and his longevity.
What?
It depends. If he wrestles Seth Rollins, then his career will only last 2 months.
Oh my gosh! Don't start with that. Okay.
JoJo
no.
does not love the orange shirt, which it's actually pink compared to the backdrop.
Actually, it's salmon. Get it right.
Okay, I've always wondered this: is it salmon or salmon?
It's salmon. All right. Well, that's another show. We'll talk about that another time. Anyways, look, no. Going back to that. Time out, sir. I'm getting tired of you dogging on Facebook and everything else, Seth Rollins. I'm standing up for it because you and James going back and forth on it, and it's making me mad because it's not Seth Rollins' fault, okay? They gave him the move, but what did I tell you? They talk about the match, and I bet Finn Balor's like, sure, you can do that. If he was not comfortable with it, he would have said, don't do that move. So you can't blame Seth Rollins for that.
But it's easy to blame the heel, and it's more fun.
It's not
to
fun.
dog on the heel because it gives the heel more heat.
Yeah, which is fine, and he's playing the character to a T. But I'm getting tired of you. Okay? Oh, he broke Sting. Good. He needed to break Sting.
Broke John Cena's nose.
Good.
Tore Finn Balor's labrum, and coming soon, possibly broken ribs to Bobby Roode.
See, he's doing more. He's doing more than AJ Styles of beating John Cena. He's breaking people. That's a good thing. That should be his hashtag. Hashtag broke people. All right.
That's a little confusing.
Isn't it a little confusing?
Heath Slater could hashtag that, actually.
Well, he is kind of broken.
And Sean just wanted you to know that salmon.
Is it salmon?
It's the other pink meat. Well, there we go, guys. We kept the show PG for, 5 minutes?
But then Sean had to open the door. Okay, so you want to go let's go into Raw review real quick. I think we can run through this, and we got a good 15 minutes left.
Sucked.
Okay, you didn't watch it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The real Scott Ely did not watch Raw.
I don't
so
watch
can't say that.
subpar wrestling when the Demon King himself isn't on there.
It's not his fault. He got injured.
It's a meticulous plan made out by the architect himself. That's why they call him the architect.
All right. Anyways, okay. So again, Raw was still in Brooklyn for the show afterwards, of course. I think SmackDown was as well, or no?
SmackDown was in Connecticut. It was Uncontrolled, Connecticut.
Okay, well, good.
At the Mohegan Sun Casino.
But anyway, so they opened the show and everything with Finn Balor has to relinquish the title and everything. So Finn comes out after Stephanie and Mick Foley introduce him. He does it. He says the speech and everything. It really sucks, too, about that. But he relinquished the title, and, everyone's going, you deserve it, you deserve it. And it sucks to see him go. He accomplished it, and he even said himself he wasn't sure if it was that it was a bad thing until he woke up the next day. So he relinquished Kyle. Then Seth Rollins comes out, and he got so many cheers. I didn't get that, but Seth Rollins comes out
because they know he's going to be the next champion.
Yeah,
it's pretty much a given.
I know, but. So Seth Rollins comes out, and then after Rollins comes out and says, oh, okay, hey, you should just give that title to me, basically is what he's saying, and Sami Zayn comes out, which I was like, okay, And then Chris Jericho comes out, Kevin Owens, Enzo and Big Cass, Roman Reigns.
And again,
it was just a big cluster, and I was like, okay.
It's a cluster for the title, and I knew Raw was going to be like that, hence why I didn't watch it. I knew it was going to be Rollins Reigns for the title. It still is with the cameo appearance of Big Cass and Kevin Owens. Yeah.
I get why they had to do it. I mean, they got really scrambled. They scrambled for giving someone the title. They don't want to just hand it to Seth Rollins, which at this point, I hate to say, I think would be better. Just give the title to Seth Rollins and start a new feud with somebody. I don't like this tournament stuff. This tournament stuff is hopefully, and we'll talk about it, what happens,
okay.
But Yeah. So, anyways, first match: Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins. And again, we'll get all your thoughts after Raw review about it. So, if anybody has any questions or anything about it, let us know after the segment. So the match was pretty good. Zayn with a flying head scissors takedown, Seth Rollins outside the ring. And then I think at one point Zayn was starting to grab his leg like he injured it, and then Seth Rollins took
and then he hit the pedigree.
Yeah. Well, no, he took. Then he took control of the match. We went to commercial, came back from the break, and Rollins was still in control, but Zayn nailed a huge clothesline, and then Rollins avoided the blue thunder bomb, and then it went into a sunset flip power bomb, which I was like, that was completely crazy. But then at the end, Zayn went for a suplex, but Rollins countered into a pedigree for the pinfall. And yeah, so that's how that match ended. I thought the match was good. I love seeing Zayn and Rollins fight again. I mean, fight each other. They're just good in the ring.
I do, but I mean, you knew Zayn wasn't going to be in the title picture.
See, I think Zayn
against Rollins. Now, if you would have had him in another match that could have put him with the top four, then maybe.
That's what I didn't like. Like, why didn't you put Rollins versus someone? I guess you couldn't because the two faces, there was really only him, Cass, and Reigns were the only faces in it. Who were you going to put him against? You didn't want to put Rollins against Jericho. You could have put Rollins against Cass. I don't know why you didn't do that.
You know what would have been great? To have Enzo in. Just have a singles match. I know you're going to have Cass in.
Yeah.
Why not put Enzo, put another face in? And plus, I think it might be actually pretty cool. It would have been cool. I'm sorry. I don't work for creative. If he would have, not he. If maybe Enzo, it would have been Enzo, Cass, Rollins, Reigns.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did, because then you put Neville in the whole thing, which made no sense. But anyways, so then you had Kevin Owens versus Neville. Neville nailed a 450 splash off the apron onto Owens on the floor. Owens was on the other side of the ring, so Neville did a somersault flip over the top and take out Owens. I love watching Neville, dude. Chris Jericho went down to the ring to help Owens, basically distract Neville and everything. And then Owens was in control after the break as Jericho was still at ringside. Neville avoided a counterattack, hit a German suplex for 2. Owens missed a bullfrog splash when Neville moved. And then splash. Owens puts Neville on his shoulders and hits a spinning net breaker for the win after 10 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, that's about it. Look, say what you want. Everyone's always telling me with Neville, people don't think he's, he's not world champion material, but he's just good in the ring. And I love watching him. Like him and Owens have good matches together. They always have. Okay, so after that we had the New Day come out. I really don't want to talk about this segment. I'm kind of getting tired of this.
We can skip that.
The New Day segment, basically they're celebrating that they're the longest champions and everything else, and they brought a piñata out, and then the club basically came out, interrupted them, and then they were like, well, let's have Big E versus Carl Anderson.
Yay.
So, it's like, okay, whatever.
Stupid feud.
I wasn't really... And, Big E was in control for most of the match, and then Anderson nailed him with a drop kick to the knee to slow him down. And then Anderson continued to work over the legs of Big E. And then Kingston and Woods took out Gallows on the floor. Big E hit the ring, or hit the big ending in the ring, beat Anderson via pinfall. So it's like, I just felt that that match didn't need to happen.
No.
No.
Yeah, it needs to be that whole feud.
What are you laughing about over there? Don't.
Again, Sean, with I do not want a reverse pile driver from Darren Young. Okay,
You don't want a reverse one? I just got that. Anyways. All right, let's speed this up a little. So Titus O'Neil comes out, says that he loved last year of SummerSlam because he got the dead weight off his back of Darren Young. He said Darren Young held him back. I think that's wrong, but okay.
Yeah.
And then Bob Backlund comes out and everything, and he basically
ripped his shirt off and started screaming incoherently.
That's
something new.
And Titus O'Neil beats up an old man. So, are you proud of yourself? And later in the program, they talked about next week they will decide the Universal Champion with the 4 finalists of it'll be a Fatal 4-Way next week on Raw.
Yay.
And hopefully that means we will get a champion crowned. I really hope that happens, but I don't know at this point. All right, so Can you turn your... Thank you.
No.
All right, Big Cass versus Rusev.
My bad.
Don't say anything. Big Cass versus Rusev. So Cass pounded away on the ribs of Rusev and then hit a clothesline that sent him out of the ring. And then they came back from a commercial and Cass missed a corner splash. And Rusev came back with a spinning kick and knocked him down. And Cass came back with another corner splash, but Rusev avoided the kick by going to the floor. Rusev nailed Enzo with a kick to the back and the head because apparently Enzo is too stupid to avoid it. Cass with a forearm smash and then a corner splash. Then with a corner splash and then slam by Cass. Rusev rolled out of the ring again. It's just blah, blah, blah is basically what happened. And then Cass basically won with his, what does he call it, Riverside Crossing?
Duh. I don't know, George. I call it I put him on the mat move. But yes, we'll take questions, old school wrestling.
Yeah, we take this, yeah.
When you got the champ here, you can talk about whatever.
All right, so
ECW is a plus.
We got about 2 more matches I'm going to cover, and then we're going to get out of Raw. So, first, let's talk about Charlotte. Charlotte comes out, and they talk about how Charlotte did this and everything else. And then Mick Foley comes out and says, well, I don't think that's how it's going to work, because she was saying that she's the best, and she needs to pick her next opponent and all that. And he said, well, I have the hottest free agent right now that just signed for Raw, and Bayley comes out, and it's Bayley versus Dana Brooke, and they had a good match. We all know who won. It's Bayley's debut. I'm not really going to get into it. So I don't want to hear it from James out there, so I'm not really going to get into it. But Bayley is finally in Raw. What's your thoughts on it?
About damn time. They needed another a woman in that division because it can't be Sasha and Charlotte.
So why not SmackDown? Why?
Because they have Nikki. Now they have Nikki, Natalya. Okay. They have Becky Lynch. They have their core 3 that are, I wouldn't say experienced, but they have their core 3.
Okay.
That they can push.
Yeah.
I mean, Bayley had to go to Raw.
Okay.
She is the John Cena of the women's division.
Now let's get into the Chris Jericho versus Roman Reigns.
False, by the way.
We'll go back for the Dudley Boys farewell here in a minute, which we'll get to, but I'll talk about that last. Let's go into this last match. Jericho did an eye gouge early on, and then a "You Can't Wrestle" chant went out on Reigns for some reason, like the crowd always does. So Jericho was still in control after the commercial break, and Jericho had him grounded with a headlock as he was doing his Ask Him bit. He was basically asking, telling
ask him,
ref,
is he tapping? Ask him. I don't know, ref. Ask him.
Why would he tap so early? So Jericho with a back elbow and a lion salt, but Reigns got his knee up to block it. Reigns with a Superman punch for 2. Jericho got his boot up to block a spear. An attempt as the crowd cheered, and Jericho went to the code breaker, but Reigns caught him and hit a sit-out powerbomb. And then Kevin Owens ran down to the ring, jumped on the apron, and Reigns knocked him down. Jericho rolled. Reigns hit a Superman punch on Jericho, and Jericho came back for the Walls of Jericho. And then Jericho slapped him in the head a few times, and Reigns slapped him back, and Reigns with the Superman punch on Owens, and then Reigns hit a spear on Jericho for the pinfall. That's simple. Go, say it.
No, I'm still recovering from Sean. No, are we going to talk about Michelle McCool and her Mick no sunscreen?
What are we talking? What?
You don't know that Michelle McCool has skin cancer?
When did that happen?
Way to stay on top of your wrestling news,
I
Steven.
don't want to talk about that. That's horrible.
Am I the news update of the team now?
Yeah.
Do.
All right, well, since you have nothing to say about that match.
Because it happened on Raw, come on, Jericho's not going to be...
God, you're the worst partner ever when I talk about Raw. I just hope you're better at SmackDown. When we do SmackDown, you know what? You're taking the reins on SmackDown.
Good, because I won't take an hour to talk about SmackDown.
Oh, I won't take an hour. Shut up.
I mean, granted, that was like half the time James does it.
Shut up. Okay.
He's not here.
So, the Dudley's farewell, I want to talk to you about this real quick. So what happened? They come out, they do this whole spiel, like, it's all for you fans. You did all this for us. Like, really? Come on, guys. Stay heel. Anyways, but they do that, and then...
Who'd they? I can't. The Shining Stars.
The Shining Stars come out, and then they give the Shining Stars, I think, a table. They were about to do something, and then the club comes out and basically beats up on them.
Right. They beat
and they put them through a table with the magic the
magic Mike.
Magic Killer, is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, it's a magic killer.
So that's what happened with it, but I want to know your thoughts on that. Do you really think, now I know that they said it was official they're retiring, but do you think this is the last we see of the Dudley Boys?
In WWE, yes. I think they're going to go to TNA.
Why?
Lighter work schedule.
But why? Why go to TNA? You have done all you could do in TNA. Why go back?
Because they can work a lighter schedule. They don't have to work a couple days a week. They can focus on their school, their wrestling school, and stay on TV with TNA.
Yeah.
I mean, I just see it, unless they're officially done with wrestling, but I mean, they're only in their mid-40s.
Yeah.
Bubba's 54 is 45, and Devon's 44. So it's not like they're ancient.
No. Okay, well, that was Raw. What do you give Raw? What are you giving it? What do you grade it?
Well, since Seth Rollins keeps injuring,
oh my gosh! Shut up.
I'm going to give it a C-.
C-.
It didn't engage me. Raw.
I give it a B. I give it a B for Bayley for that reason. So
no, they're not going to wrestle at the Cabarrus Arena.
Ooh.
The Dudleys.
They might. So, is there any questions? Did anybody have any questions?
Not really. Besides, we kind of covered.
Okay. All right. Well,
unless I forgot, or in case I missed some, I mean, please feel free to.
Well, if not,
we'll cover it at the beginning of the next.
Yeah,
segment.
we'll cover it at the beginning of the next. Well, you're listening to Wrestling with Attitude. Everybody on Periscope, please stay tuned. For everyone else, check us out on Facebook and Twitter at WWA Show. Check out WrestlingWithAttitude.com for other shows, and we'll see you here next time.